Sit, turn, type, sit. Good boy. Ruff.
I was a little longer than I expected it to be, but we are back once again with History and Headlocks, and it's a very different learning experience when I get to do this by myself, but it is nonetheless has to be done. So, History and Headlocks here again. If you don't know who we are, I'm Mike, and she is Ariana, and we are here for New York Wrestle Media. And today, the highly anticipated episode that we've been teasing for the longest time now is the retrospective on the career of one John.
Yes.
Bell is rung, so we are now officially in the classroom. Yay.
Yeah, there we go.
And we are all the information is up here for everybody. So, Miss Ariana, what tell the people about Mr. One John Cena if they do not somehow know about this man?
Well, I mean, if you live under a rock, then Mr. John Cena is, well, he is a legend. He's a legend, basically. He is an icon. He is one of the goats of professional wrestling. Yep. He came in a little unassuming musclehead, basically, and turned into a one-of-a-kind individuals that can never be replicated or replaced.
This guy.
That's yep. This bug-eyed, bleach blonde musclehead. That's how he came in.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through this man's entire career because he just recently retired, and if you're already subscribed to the channel, you have our thoughts on what we thought about his last match.
Correct.
So, and we brought up the fact, and you brought up that he's considered one of the GOATs. Mm-hmm. But I think after this, we'll definitely debate if he is a GOAT in the world of wrestling.
Oh, I mean, I think he is a GOAT, without a doubt. I'm not the biggest mark for the guy, but I'm not going to deny the impact that he has made in this business. I mean, listen, this business is going to go on for decades, centuries, maybe. And maybe somebody will come along and people will be like, Cena who? But for now, he is up there with guys like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was just about to ask you, who would you consider other GOATs of wrestling if Cena's one of them?
Yeah, definitely. Even whether I like them or not, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Sting,
Shawn
Michaels, absolutely.
Stone Cold,
The Rock, Triple H. I mean, his impact is still here. Obviously, he's running shit.
All right.
I
will say John Cena is definitely different from all of them, especially in the sense of in-ring wise. I think he stands out, but I think it would be safe to say he's the greatest entertainer in wrestling.
One of the best, yeah.
Or how about like wrestler wise?
I think he's better than what people remember him as.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of people forget that the dude can actually do more than 5 moves.
Right.
You know, when he was allowed to, he actually
Mm-hmm.
showed. I mean, and I think even during his retirement tour, we saw some pretty good matches come out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that he can actually wrestle. He actually knows how to do submission holds. He actually knows how to, you know, set up some pretty good spots there. So I would say he's not the best, but he's pretty good. I'll put him at the pretty good level.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think you pretty much just said it, where it depends on his dance partner in certain aspects. Where
Oh yeah.
if he's in the right situation, he could show up where he can do. But
Yes.
unfortunately, for most, not most, like I'll say a good portion of his run, maybe felt stale sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll always refer to his moves as the 5 moves of doom.
Right.
Because let's be real here. Hulk Hogan, same thing. If you think
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah. Well,
Hulk up,
yeah.
the punches,
Right.
the big boot, and then the leg drop.
The signature moves here, and then you watch footage of him in Japan, and you're like, that's the same Hulk Hogan
Cool.
doing some crazy spots and even like some high spots. Like,
Right.
what? Like, where was this Hulk Hogan the entire time in the United States? Right.
Right. But I guess also shows if you do little, it still gets over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all
And
about.
John Cena never really put his body on the line as far as doing anything crazy.
No, he never really did. You know, he knew what his bread and butter was in terms of what he could do in the ring, and you know, I think he knew that putting himself in more hardcore spots or trying to achieve higher spots, you know, like flying and whatnot, was just not for him, not for his body type, not for his build.
Right.
You know, I knew he couldn't handle certain spots, his
Right.
knees maybe or his back, you know.
Right. So pretty much his whole outlook, like we've seen all the photos with him making championship belts when he was a kid. He was a wrestling fan since he was little.
Right.
As he grew up, he competed professionally in bodybuilding. So pretty much the body that he has now has always been what he's had since he was young.
Right. Correct.
Maybe gotten bigger sometimes, but not insanely big.
Yeah, he was, you know, earlier while prepping for this, I was watching a quick little like cliff notes of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled out some pictures of him, I guess, when he was just breaking out into the indie scene over in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just also when he was doing that reality show for a little bit where he kind of played this host. I don't know if you ever heard of it or saw it. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna have to look it up. Where he had the bleach blonde hair, but it was more like very military. Very
Yes.
Yeah. And he was just a big mountain of muscle.
Right.
So he definitely leaned up a little bit more once he became a pro wrestler. Probably from realizing he couldn't carry all that bulk in the ring.
Like he was definitely like in the middle, I would say, of like when Randy Orton first started to how Batista and Brock were when they also started. Like he was right in the middle in size wise.
Yes, I would say he was right in the middle. You know, he wasn't the biggest guy. You know, not even height wise is he the biggest guy. He's not.
I think he's like 5'11" or 6.
Yeah,
no, he's probably like 6'4", 6'1", maybe.
That's what they say, but he's not. I mean, I've met him. He's not. He's maybe like 5'10", 5'11".
Who have you not met?
Hulk Hogan. I never got to meet him. I haven't met Ric Flair.
I was gonna say we could be here all day with that, but like
we could do a whole episode on the meet and greets I've done over the decades if you want. We could
definitely do that.
Yeah.
But for Cena, never really tall, but always big.
No. But wide. You know, he had his amazing muscle definition for sure. Absolutely, without a doubt. But he wasn't massive like a Brock or a Batista. And you know, when Randy started, he was leaner than what we see him today. I mean, he's another one. That's a whole other story with his physique and his changes. But John tends to just stay very, very standard. Even now that he's older, his muscles aren't as defined, but they're still very much there.
Right.
His body's just never really changed.
Never, not insane physique. Maybe for old school fans like a Scott Steiner or Buff Bagwell.
Right.
Nothing like Lex Luger. Nothing crazy like that.
Yeah,
ever.
especially like Scott Steiner's change was drastic, or like Hunter Triple H, like his change too during his heyday was.
Oh, I mean, like 2002 Triple H. He can't put his arms down
compared to Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
It's like a whole different man. But he always, it's like he knew, maybe because of his bodybuilding days, he knew exactly what worked for his body. He knew not to go overboard.
Yeah.
He knew how his agility probably, like he knew what felt good, I think.
Right. I mean, he was also he was a sports kid too. He played all the sports. He played
Athletic.
football,
Yeah.
baseball. And I want to bring this up because me and Jay do we watch old Howard Stern episodes, and John Cena was a guest on that show. This was back in 2005, and then the whole brought up the steroids thing with him because when people look at him, they just automatically think, oh, this guy's doing something. There's no way he keeps his physical form or his shape.
Right.
Are you one of those people that believe that, or just?
No, I don't see him being a steroid user, because you could just see how his body has aged naturally.
Right.
And he's just gonna be a naturally big, bulky guy no matter what. Like Arnold. I was gonna say Arnold Schwarzenegger, but who knows what he's done in his life. But you know what I mean? Like, as he gets older,
I think he's admitted to using.
Yeah, I mean, maybe John in the early days when he was really, really into the whole bodybuilding and looking super freaking buff, maybe he was doing stuff. But I think as he got older, he smartened up about it, stopped doing it, because, like I said, like you compare his body now at 48 to when he was 28. You can see the aging has been very natural.
Right.
You don't see as not that he's saggy, he's not, but you can see that it's going to lead to that point, the natural sagging of an aging muscular man. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So when we talk about like early John Cena, and I don't know if you saw this in the same documentary, or I've seen like the clip that goes around is him doing a robotic type gimmick where
the prototype.
He like I don't know how to phrase it, but like the way he moves his body like it's a robot.
Yes.
And then he speaks kind of like one.
Yes. He's very like stoic, very stiff.
Right. And this was like his early first gimmick. Right. And then the one thing that would impress me and impress a lot of people was he was able to he would like reverse his promo. He if you don't understand what I just said, let me reverse it, and then then say it again.
Yes. My first introduction to him was when he was in OVW.
Right. So he joined. I think he joins definitely like late '99, 2000s.
Right. Yeah. I have a friend who lives in Ohio, and she would go to the OVW shows when she could, and she reached out to myself and other friends of ours here in the East Coast. It was like, oh, you gotta check these guys out on OVW. They're probably going to be called up to WWE or WWF soon,
right? Because
they fit right in. And I was like, wow, this dude is freaking. He looks chiseled.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing him.
He was pretty much labeled the prototype of wrestlers,
right?
So, which at the time fit their mold.
Exactly. So then I was like, okay, this guy, the prototype, whatever. And then that reality show popped up on UPN. I believe it was UPN back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, that's that wrestler.
I think I've seen clips. Is this where like he's like a bounty hunter and he's chasing people with a gun?
He's like a bounty hunter of sorts, and he also kind of carries that same air that the prototype carried, very stiff, very like serious, and
like these maggots better be on the run before I catch them type.
Yeah, like he looked like some scary. He looks scary. Like that's not the kind of person that you would want to cross paths with. Whether Manhunt. He played Big Tim. That's what it was. Big Tim.
And technically, this is his first acting role. Well, no, his first one. His first one was when he had that cameo in Ready to Rumble, when he's in the background of the Goldberg.
Yeah, right. Which I mean, did he? He didn't speak in that.
No, but he's just very clearly seen.
He was an extra.
But yeah, about to be do on the lap pole machine.
Yeah, but this, and then this
he's he's so noticeable because he has that fucking goofy ass haircut.
I know. You can't miss that jarhead haircut anywhere.
But so pretty much he had a foot kind of in Hollywood a little bit, and in wrestling too, which later on we'll definitely cover in his retrospective. But once he makes it to, I guess this is before the term main roster, but pretty much when he gets the call up, it's on a SmackDown where his first match is against Kurt Angle, and this is around the time when Rock's off to Hollywood. Austin took his ball and went home, so then Vince, same week, was asking people for ruthless aggression from new people, and that pretty much became John Cena's gimmick from the word go.
Yeah.
Comes out with tights, wristbands, and boots, and Kurt Angle goes, "What's the one thing that you have that nobody else has?" And he's like, "Ruthless aggression," and then slaps the shit out of Kurt.
He really, as soon as those words came out of his mouth, I think we knew that was it. That was the new catchphrase that everybody was going to be like.
Well, most definitely going to be his.
Yeah. And it just worked. Yeah. Especially like you said, he said it like that, and then he slapped the living daylights out of Kurt.
And he kept up with Kurt, which was very surprising for a lot of people to see at the time. Because Kurt was... Let's remember, this was Kurt Angle 3 years still in the business, or at least as a main eventer on the roster.
Yes.
Top guy on SmackDown, and he's going toe to toe with the new young guy on the roster.
Yeah, I just watched this match again right before the retirement match. And I mean, the match, they kept up toe to toe. It was a squash match at all. It really, even though John lost, it showed his talents and his strengths. And I think a lot of people saw that and were like, "Oh, this guy, whoever he is, we're not going to see the last of him."
Right. I think also at this point too, it was Brock and Randy had made their way up, so he was the third one. And to mention the OVW class, that's a pretty impressive.
Yeah. Shelton, Batista.
Other standouts like Charlie Haas, Rico, like a lot of those, pretty much the next stars of TV in the next, I'd say, 5 years was pretty much in that OVW class. All different levels of greatness to, okay, they're okay people on the roster, but that four. Cena, Orton, Batista, Lesnar. I don't think they knew this at the time, but those would be your four faces of the company.
Absolutely.
At least the next one's up.
I mean, how they would not know? I knew. When I saw them, I was like, yeah, these guys are going to be stars. Without a doubt. These guys are massive, and they can wrestle. They're not just, pick them up and put them down kind of guys. And they can actually work the mic. Like the OVW created, for the most part. I mean, maybe not like Brock isn't really the best on the mic, is he? But
they gave him Paul right away, so he pretty much had an out. But Batista went from a Leviathan to now being Devon's donation box holder.
God.
And then you had Randy being at the young chipper. The
third generation guy.
That looked like he had no idea what the hell he was doing, but he looked impressive.
He looked like he had no idea.
He looked lost.
Half the time he didn't. He really didn't.
I mean, but it's crazy when you see. And then for Cena, again, one of those things was they put him against Kurt right away, and you're thinking, okay, maybe something's going to happen with this kid, and then. When they come back from break, he comes in the back, gets praise from the boys. And then The Undertaker, who was the WWE champion at the time, comes up to him. "What's your name?" "John Cena." There's this. I never understood why this was a thing, but this weird handshake where he has like this, and Cena's like put his arm out like that.
Like, what is this? The superpowers? Remember how Hogan and Macho used to do that?
It was like a weird mixture of that and then the fucking Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers.
Yes.
It's like, you son of a bitch. Like,
yes.
Like a weird combo of both those
it's very theatrical. Yeah.
Right. And then you just have like saying, "Good job, kid." So then I was like, okay. And the thing was, the crowd actually reacted too, where they could have done that, and the fans just said, "Oh, ha ha." It was like, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah. So then, like the first like couple months, he was on SmackDown, worked with Jericho, Angle, got the team with Taker in a tag match, and they were highlighting with him, along with Rey Mysterio, who just debuted, and Edge, who was one of the rising stars on SmackDown. It's like they're pegged as the future.
Yes.
And then for Cena, it kind of dropped off just a little. Because I think, let's also tell the truth here, he was almost fired.
Right. Which was, mind-boggling when you think about it today.
Looking back now.
Yeah, like in hindsight, you're like, what were they thinking? Almost putting him on that chopping block. But I mean, he was just a generic, great look, great in the ring, good in the ring. I won't say great, but good in the ring. But he was generic, the little booty shorts and no real.
His gear was pretty much the hometown colors of wherever they were.
Right. It was just John Cena. He didn't have like a nickname or a slogan at that point, besides the saying ruthless aggression. It was just example A of a wrestler.
Right. Then he turns heel. So random way, like no reason. Like it was like turn heel on Billy Kidman of all people, because they also had a tag match. And then that was a heel. He's wrestling guys like Rikishi, like all the baby faces. Correct. But then an October episode of SmackDown, he comes out like this at the Halloween party. So backstory the backstory on this is crazy, because that all the people on the tour would be in the back, and all of them would do like rap battles.
Yes.
And John Cena participated in one, and Stephanie McMahon heard of this, and she was running creative at the time, so she pitched him to do this on an episode of SmackDown. So he dressed up like this. This is Vanilla Ice, right?
Right. So
pretty much did his impression of Vanilla Ice, did a rap, and from then on, it stuck.
Yeah. It
weirdly enough, it stuck.
It worked. It was a talent he had. It was something he would do, would trademark his cousin on the side as a hobby, I guess you could say, even though Trademark was really the one that was trying to break out into the rap business and the rap game.
Right.
But John just happened to have a talent for it. He had an knack for it. So why not run with it?
Yeah, and again, he was still wearing some of the generic gear, but then eventually he switched to jorts.
The jorts and the big shirts.
Yeah, a lot of the jerseys, again, I will say for him, he did the jerseys where it was against the hometown team, so it'd be in New York. He'd wear a Boston jersey or something.
Exactly. He had a collection of the Michelin fitted caps back then that were very in style. The wristbands.
But you just look at this, this is the same John Cena we see today, but
that wig is serious.
Right.
Also, Funaki in the back dressed like Superman is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's Chavo too.
And Chavo dressed like a Mexican bandito. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But, great clip.
So to do that, he needs a side man, right? He needs a sidekick. So Bull Buchanan, you're now B squared.
Right, which was, woo, what the hell were they thinking?
See, it's you have a good idea with Cena, right? But then it's when you have a utility guy who at this point was a boss man, county, I don't know what you would call that, but pretty much the Shield before the Shield was a thing.
Right.
Then he was right to censor, and now he's this
guy. Yeah, he got repackaged so many times, and it was always just these silly. It was silly stuff that they had him doing, and I was like, "Come on, look at the guy. Does he look like he would be a silly guy? Really? Come on."
Not silly, but does he look like a fucking rapper?
Right, the dude is a monster. He was a monster. Book
I
him
get
like
it.
a
It was supposed to be a
monster.
heater for Cena, but it was also one of those things where it just never
It
clicked.
it was so cringe to watch this poor man come out and be like, you know, the DJ. the
But the thing is, he's one of those reliable guys that will fucking do whatever he's told,
right, he had no
and,
choice, did
and he got
he?
paid for it, so it's like
Right.
you really can't hurt it. It's kind of
Yeah.
a similar situation to Albert. Albert was literally anything they wanted him to be. He was Prince
Literally.
Albert, where he's one day like wants to pierce your penis,
Mm-hmm.
and the next he's with a hot Canadian, and he's a train, and now then he was a samurai. He was like he did a lot of stupid things in the company, but
They had that man all over the place.
and now he's training the next generation of
Right.
wrestlers.
Right. Right.
But for
Uh,
Cena, it's definitely one of those weird things where he's starting out strong, or he's I don't know. He's definitely getting. He has a character now. He's
right.
definitely showing some personality, and then they immediately put him with Brock.
Right.
At least for like his first real feud,
Yes.
because then he like we hear those like famous raps where he'd be like, "Oh, like that's a nice tattoo of your mother on your back," or like,
Yeah, the diss tracks basically.
yeah, that's pretty much it. His promos were all diss tracks
Yes,
in
they
the
were.
early start,
They were.
where like he'd be backstage like Brock took him out with an injury, so pretty much every week at that point until WrestleMania 19, where cutting promo or cutting raps,
Mm-hmm.
dissing Brock or anybody else on the roster. And I will mention for his thing for WrestleMania 19, he called out Jay-Z for a rap battle,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
Jay-Z never responded because, of course, why would he dare
Right.
waste his time on this at WrestleMania 19? So they had John Cena come out on Heat and rap about Jay-Z and I forgot somebody else, but it was like so cardboards that they were
Mm-hmm.
standing on the stage.
Yeah.
So like he misses his first WrestleMania, but he does something on Heat. But then
Yes.
immediately after the backlash after WrestleMania, Kurt's out, so Brock needs an opponent, and John Cena steps up to the plate.
Right.
And the tournament, he had wins over like Guerrero, Eddie, Benoit, and Taker. So they pretty much made him top heel, or one of the top heels on SmackDown right away.
Yes.
Where definitely when you look at his in-ring stuff at this point, very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the headlocks, the chin locks. He was like, "Oh, let's slow it down, brother."
Right. And I'm sure that was the call from the back. Like, you're a heel and you're big, so keep it simple in the ring.
Right. And
Don't.
then he established his finishing move, which was the fireman's, pretty much a fireman's carry, but
Mm-hmm.
called it the FU.
The FU. Yep.
And as a kid who had strict parents who didn't like cursing, this was one of those things I didn't get it. So that when I say it out loud, it's like, oh, like get over here so I can beat the shit out of you type of thing.
Like, it's not my fault.
Like, what did I say wrong?
They said it on TV.
Yeah. And it was like one of those like silly things too. It was like, oh, so Brock calls his the F5 and Cena calls his the
The
FU.
FU. Mm-hmm.
Which that's not the worst move, honestly, at this point.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
But yeah, so around this is all 2002. Then we're just going through the photos here because pretty much I want to get to the point of when he turns babyface in the fall. It immediately does shit like this.
Right.
It stands
My
out.
Lord. Look at how big the Big Show's hand is near his crotch. Do you see the size of his hand? I mean, my God, was he at his biggest at this point?
Probably. He was definitely over 500 pounds.
Lord, and the fact that John's just slamming him, I'm putting him on his back like this. I mean, his face is struggling.
But the thing was, he made it look easy.
He made it look easy, so easy.
Yeah. So we went from heel John Cena saying naughty words to the good guys, now saying naughty bad words to the bad guys.
Right. Yes.
And I think his most popular catchphrase at this point was "these nuts."
these nuts. Yes, which to this day
2003, 2004.
I'll never understand why people find it so hilarious. It's like, okay,
Because they're children.
Must be a boy thing.
As you see, us boys or men have a penis and some balls,
right?
And girls don't have that.
We don't have that, right?
Yeah, so stupid. But pretty much WrestleMania 20, his first WrestleMania, gets his first chance of gold for the United States title.
U.S. champion.
And pretty much throughout the summer, going into the fall U.S. champion title run, we had feuds with Booker T, Rene Dupree. And then it was pretty much, he took some time off to go film a movie.
Right.
Which I didn't realize it was at this time. But I just wanted to show this picture because they did the whole stabbing in the nightclub storyline.
Oh, yes.
Go away from.
Oh my God, yes, so corny.
This was the most. No, okay, so Carlito debuted at this time, and John Cena, of course, had to go away, just film some stuff for the Marine.
Right.
So what they did was they did Carlito beating him in his hometown, taking his title, taking his chain, which also it's what mentioned to him too. He had a chain with a padlock on it.
Right, he had a big old padlock on it.
Yeah, that would be one of his signature looks. And I also just want to mention when you look at him like here. Well,
yes.
Let me get a better picture because I want to talk about his gear for a second.
Sure.
But like, yeah, so pretty much this where shorts, knee pads. Sneakers,
big old shirt.
What did you think of the armbands and the headband on his arm?
You know what, I thought it was good. It was it made him stand out. It was different. I have a story behind the wristbands, how they came about. But it helped him stand out. It was perfect merch. Those things sold like hotcakes. Little kids wearing them, grown men wearing them, women wearing them. It was the right call.
Right.
It fit his style because he was like an over-exaggerated white boy hip hop guy. Yep. Even though it wasn't supposed to be comedic, looking back, you're like, oh my God.
And he also got over 2 hand gestures too, which was also the camera could see.
Yes,
the word life
and
the famous "You can't see me."
I know. I always hear that in The Rock's voice. You can't see me.
But yeah, it was very funny as a kid. Looking back on it,
yeah.
Well, as a kid, it was very funny then, and now it's like it's so stupid.
It is. It is. I mean, it was very cartoony. It definitely was the last remnants of the cartoon era of wrestling in a way.
Right.
Before things started to, even though they had done the whole Attitude Era, it was still very cartoony. Some of the stuff they were doing back then, obviously. Right. But
this is Ruthless Aggression era, where, I mean, I will say he did stand out from like a Stone Cold or The Rock. So you can't say, oh, he's a copy of him.
No, not at all. He had his own look. Nobody was doing it.
Old gimmick, something nobody at the time was doing.
I mean, the only other I remember was maybe Public Enemy.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was completely different, a completely different vibe altogether.
Yeah. So he takes time off. He gets stabbed in the kidney, so he has to go away for a little while. But he goes and films the Marine. What did you think of the Marine when it initially came out?
I never watched it.
Really?
I never watched it.
Oh my gosh.
So I couldn't tell you. I've never seen it. I've never seen any of those WWE produced movies because
not worth it.
No, I lie. I think I saw when Randy did one of the Marine movies. Was it a Marine? He did one of those WWE. It was.
He did a WWE movie, but it wasn't those. It was
it was.
It was like, I think it was like one of those serious ones that they published where like they always show the scene with him. It was like, I'll go to the police with this. It was like a teacher was touching a student or having a relationship with a student.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Randy was gonna be in the Marine, but then they the producers found out that he had the honorable discharge.
He was dishonorably discharged. Yes.
So they didn't want to put him in the.
You're right.
Well, no, people outraged and they want him to be a Marine.
12 rounds. That's the one. 12 rounds. Yes.
I don't think he was in that either.
No, he is. I just saw it. He played like a cop. And
I know Cena did, but
yeah, they've done multiple freaking parts, but
yeah, pretty much Marine is just John Cena. It's pretty much John Cena playing an ex-Marine, chasing his wife from the bad guys, blah, blah, blah. But it was very crazy. But yeah, so he goes away for a little bit for that. And then I will say this. When we're getting into 2005, John Cena, and he is over like nothing.
Yes.
Well, not nothing, but over like crazy.
Right. Yes. Yes, he was.
And then you could definitely tell the next stars of the company were at the Rumble. It's the Batista John Cena face off.
Mm-hmm.
Famous botch of them falling out the ring, and then for coming out tearing both his quads.
He was so mad he blew his legs out.
It's not just one quad, both quads.
Both quads. He sat there like a toddler throwing a tantrum because he couldn't move. Oh God, so funny.
But
I can't help
so
but
pretty much, Rumble 2005 was pretty much telling fans this is your future main eventers, and then John Cena would go to WrestleMania. He didn't win the Rumble that year, but he did go to Mania, dethrone JBL of the WWE title.
Yes,
and then this is when they pretty much told us when he's going to be the face of the company is when he gets moved over to Raw.
Right.
So you were watching at this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice a shift of his character a little bit when he moved to Raw at first?
Yes, definitely. Because
he definitely stopped rapping a lot.
Yes, he became more of like a figurehead, basically.
Right.
I don't know if that's the right word to use. It's almost like, they wanted him to be more PG, more general, more not pleasurable. I don't want even more pleasing. More pleasing. Sorry, that wasn't the right word. My bad. Sorry.
Listen, I know he's good looking, but control yourself.
More pleasing to different parts of the audience. That's what I meant to say.
It's definitely more kid friendly. Cena starting to come out.
Yeah, definitely kid friendly, and maybe also friendly for some of the older school fans that didn't like the rap gimmick because they were older and were like, "What is this rap garbage?"
And I will say when he moved to Raw and started he was WWE champion throughout the rest of the year, you started to notice boos.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, I never understood it, but I guess you pretty much said it where it was like the older fans were kind of looking at him, kind of like this is not our guy type of thing. It's kind of like the Roman Reigns thing from years ago. Stop, don't shove them down our throats. If you want to push them. But
yeah, because I really feel like they were trying to make him the new Hulk Hogan of this generation.
Yeah,
the American hero because he became very patriotic.
Yeah, he started doing the salute in his entrance.
Right, he was hanging out, at the shows they would do for the military. He was, like you said, doing this. Like, dude, you're not even actual. It was almost like they were trying to run with his Marine role and make him into this goody two shoes, clean cut, happy go lucky. Everybody's gonna love this guy because he's so favorable. Right. But you also stripped him of what made him, what made John Cena the star that he had become. Like you just took all of that away.
Right. And then also I will mention too, let's mention his theme song here where he raps his own song. So which song do you prefer? Basic Thugonomics?
Oh,
or my time is now.
Basic Thugonomics, to be honest. Like when I hear that, I'm like, damn, that was a dope freaking song. Right. And not to say that Where Life Isn't, it's a cool song too. It's just I don't know, something about the Basic Thugonomics feels so like raw and gritty, and like it was literally recorded in like a basement somewhere with his cousin, just fucking around with the DJ booth, and came out with this classic theme song.
It definitely felt more off the cuff. Would you say? Like nothing was written. He just went off the script, and just said whatever he wanted.
Exactly. You know,
where My Time is more direct.
More direct, right? It's very polished.
Like I'm the next. Like pretty much, he's saying I'm the next guy. Nobody else is gonna take my spot. Blah blah blah.
Exactly. Yeah, that, and it just felt very polished, produced in the studio. They sampled stuff, and they kept that sample. They started remaking it to make it that sad little trumpet sound that towards the end of his career. You know which one I'm talking about. Like towards the end of his career, very melodramatic version of the.
I will say too, if you kind of did that in front of like non-wrestling fans, I think they recognize that too.
Yeah, of course.
Because also too with the internet, people make memes of the John Cena, and his name is John Cena. And
yes, exactly.
The trumpets are loud as fuck, and you're checking your ears to make sure you can still hear.
Yeah, and and I know people who they only know John Cena as an actor. And they're like, wait, he wrestled? Like, dude, yeah, he wrestled for he's been decades. That's
I mean, at this point with 05 into 06, his face was everywhere from like Gillette commercials. Like he was everywhere. He was appearing on Saturday Night Live, Mad TV. His face was everywhere.
The voiceover for what is it? Ford or Honda? I forget which car brand he did the voiceover for. But you can hear his voice, and if you knew his voice, you're like, "Oh, that's John Cena doing a voiceover for a commercial." Yeah. He did a lot of the voiceovers as a spokesperson. He was getting a lot of stuff outside of wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I just want to bring this picture back up because I think also we need to address what they did when he won the WWE title. They made it a toy.
A spinner.
A lot of people's word. Yeah. What is your thoughts on the spinner?
I mean, it was cute. It's a cute concept for the gimmick that he had. At the time where we had people with their cars all souped up, right? With the spinner, what you would call those things?
The rims.
The rims. Thank you. I was blanking out. The spinner rims. So it and the shows on MTV where they were Pit My Ride, or they were making everything, with just over the top. So it fit the era of hip hop that he was.
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry to interrupt you, but
no, it's all right.
It just fit him.
It fit him, right? It just
it just stayed too long,
right? And then they tried to do it with other champions, and it didn't work.
When I'm seeing Triple H, who know damn well that this means a lot to him, walking down the ramp with this fucking spinner thing. And the best part about it was that early on, the spinner thing was out of control. So whatever you moved the belt, the thing was spinning.
Yes.
And then eventually they made it stop spinning.
Right. So he had to control it.
It's like they physically made the WWE logo stay still, but when you're seeing other people wear it, like Triple H, Randy Orton, one of the top heels, who's serious, kicking people in the skulls, and he has a stupid spinner thing on his shoulder.
Yeah, they should have just kept the spinner belt just for Cena as a gimmick belt, kind of like how they had, the belt for Daniel Bryan, the little, his little hemp belt,
the hemp belt,
Just keep those novelty belts for the wrestler it has been modeled after. There was no reason for other wrestlers to be rocking around with the spinner belt. They should have gotten the regular belt.
It's funny that I think everybody on the roster is in the same sentiment. It's like they hated the spinner belt.
Yeah, it worked for him, and that's it.
Right. And it just do a thing of, God forbid he loses it, somebody comes out, destroys it, because that's what they did with the U.S. title when he had the spinner U.S. belt for a little bit.
Or
which that didn't last long either.
Or let's say there was a rival wrestler that had a similar kind of gimmick, a heel version that was doing his own, and he steals the belt and keeps it a spinner, but as his own. That's different. But come on, there was no reason for Triple H or Randy Orton to be walking around with a spinner belt.
Also too, let's not forget Edge.
Yeah,
Edge had the belt too, but their
right.
version of him getting rid of the spinner belt was just putting a stupid rated R logo
Rated
in the
R
middle of it.
logo.
And he admits he hates that too. He just wishes that it would have went back to a traditional looking
Yeah.
WWE title.
Yeah, they played around with the belts way too much in that era. They did. It's like, dude, what you're wasting so much money on these belts, like creating all these brand new belts.
And meanwhile, this one belt lasted from '05 to I'll say 2012
Jesus.
until the Rock put in the garbage and said, "I'm done with this toy." And then we
Mm-hmm.
have a early version of the WWE title we see today,
Right.
which is pretty much just a big WWE logo in the middle
It looks like that
and
also looks
side
like a
plates.
toy. It also looks like a toy. That WWE belt. That was like
I
something
mean,
you would put on a baby.
I
I
mean,
hate it. I'm sorry. To this day, I hate it. The other belt on Raw,
slightly
gorgeous,
better, slightly better.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Compared to that, it's a beautiful belt. I think it's a beautiful belt.
big
It's a
gold and the
yeah,
big eagle.
right. It's a throwback. The big eagle. I missed the eagle belt.
Well, not the big eagle. The big eagle is one that Austin would hold, but the winged eagle, the one that
The
like
winged eagle.
Sean, Brett, and Taker would
Oh,
wear.
the best belt they've ever made.
Right, the one that
Beautiful.
Cody wore a little bit last year.
Yes.
But so Cena's now on Raw, and pretty much his whole run on Raw, he was pretty much the mainstay on that show
Yes.
until he. Well, I will also mention this before here because we're definitely doing two parters. But his big coming out parties, I would say, are his WrestleMania matches: WrestleMania 22 against Triple H,
Mm-hmm.
and his WrestleMania 23 match against Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Out of those two matches, who do you think did best with Cena at that time?
Me. Oh gosh. Try to run back into my memory bank here.
Yeah. This also when Triple H was when he was getting over the King of Kings
Yes.
character, and then Shawn. And then, unfortunately, with the Shawn match, there was some miscommunication, and Shawn had a hissy fit.
Right. And she's like, relax, dude. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I mean, like, I don't know what to say. I don't even know how to answer that question. Either one. I mean, he put good matches on with both. Nothing was perfect, but like you said, the issue with Shawn definitely could have put a damper on that match.
It was a small one. I think Cena wasn't selling his arm properly, and Shawn's
Right.
like perfectionist, where he's like, if I work
Yeah.
your arm, sell your arm.
Right. And it's just, Shawn had his moments where he could get very petty in the ring. Right. Smack dab in the middle of the match. So and as funny as it could be, sometimes that could put a damper on the whole energy of the match when that happens. Yeah. And I understand, like, okay, this isn't working out how we had planned it, but shit happens, bro.
Right. I only asked that, so I think I'll ask it a bit in another way. But do you think they helped John Cena's growth as becoming the next guy? Because them two obviously knew that he was going to be number one.
Yeah.
But do you think they did like a good job getting Cena ready for what would be next?
I think so. I think they did. I mean, they're two very polarizing people when it comes to putting people over.
Right.
So I think that with John, they did a very good job with that. Like you said, they saw it. There was no denying who John was going to be.
Right.
At that stage of their careers, they knew it was time to make a fresh face stand out. And he was it.
And meanwhile, Johnson was having some good matches in between those two WrestleMania. I mean, one night stand with Rob Van Dam. If you put anybody else in that situation that they did to Cena, I don't think anybody would
meltdown.
You took the words out of my mouth because they would not react well to a crowd telling you to go fuck yourself, go suck dick.
Yeah, you have to be a very professional, and the only people I could see at that time, like at any time, being able to carry that the way he did would have been like The Rock, because he himself had that situation at WrestleMania X8 where the whole sky don't turned on him.
Right. Austin would definitely handle that situation.
Austin would have handled it beautifully. Yeah, definitely. But John he played the role perfectly. He was like, all right, I see everybody here are hardcore ECW fans. They are hardcore behind RVD. They can't stand my ass.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for this one night, because we are in a different element right now. So I have to play the conniving heel. I even took out the ref.
Yeah.
That was great.
Because I think a lot of people, when people think of one night stand, they think of the matchup, they think of the crowd reaction, they think of the sign that was draped on the bed. If Cena wins, we riot.
We riot. The T-shirt incident.
We kept throwing the T-shirt in the crowd, people throwing it back.
Throwing it back.
I think it was, and then it was finally like, it was a black guy in the front row that grabbed it, wiped his ass with it, threw the shirt back, and just gave him the double bird.
Yep, it was that crowd was on fire that night. That's that. I wonder if I mean he may have spoken about it, but like in the back of his head, maybe he was like, "Shit, man, I'm in trouble." These guys look like they can legit storm this ring right now and beat the shit out of me.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in Gorilla. If, like, whoever was producing that show, like if Vince or Paul Heyman were at the table, and they're just watching and they hearing this. And then, like, I can imagine Paul Heyman laughing. Vince probably would be freaking out, be like, "Oh my god, what the hell? What is happening?
Yeah, what's going on with the crowd? We got to change this." And then and Paul's just there like, "Nah, let it happen. This is perfect. This is
ECW. What the hell do you want?
This is exactly what you wanted, right? This is what you paid for."
No, the bad thing is he says, "What did you think was going to happen?"
Exactly. This show is going to bring out the hardcore ECW fans.
Right.
That missed the real ECW.
And during this time period, too, Cena had a lot of great opponents to work with. Like I said, he worked with RVD, Triple H, Shawn, Edge. One underrated one is Umaga that everybody still praises to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, we'll talk about, I don't know if you would consider his best opponent or his greatest opponent, but Randy Orton, the matches they had at this time.
Those two made magic in the ring together, man. Because they knew each other so well.
It's also, I would say, a very mixed bag if looking back on it, where I think the repetition of it over the years definitely dampened it.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue because you're just like, oh, here we go again. But
we have nothing for Cena for this month, or what's Randy doing?
But it's like, for me, it also feels like they are the lifetime rivals. Even if they're best of friends, they are still going to have that rivalry because they came up together. They trained together in OVW. They came in together to WWE. They were doing dark matches at the same. Their careers were just so parallel. So to see them ever face off or even team up, it always felt special.
Right.
But yeah, Randy was definitely one of, if not the top, along with Brock, even with Brock, you know. There's something about that group, like we were discussing earlier, something about that group, their chemistry was just like none other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then, this is when Cena suffers his first serious injury in 2007. Mm-hmm. The torn pec? I think it was a torn pec.
I think so.
And then
this is more or less around the time that I kind of like faded out of watching wrestling.
Like 07. From when did you tune out?
I would say like around maybe like a late 06 or early 06. No. When did I hate to bring this up, but when did Benoit's
7 in June?
All right, so more or less right after that is when I kind of started to, because like I say, life was lifing. Right. And I had to focus on a lot more than wrestling, unfortunately.
Which was funny enough, when around that time, that's when Cena's character kind of changed a little bit. Because before that, I mean, like I said, he wasn't rapping, but he still throw out like mean insults. He'd be like calling Lita a slut.
Yeah.
Like that type of stupid shit. And then once after the Benoit tragedy, it's like, holy fudgicles, or like
he would say
stupid, like stupid shit that he would say.
Yeah, silly little PG cursing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say this was around the time where Cena was coming off insufferable.
Mm-hmm. The Super Cena era, right?
Right. So, like, when I will tell you, it was definitely a weird era when Vince announced, "Oh, Cena is hurt." The fans like jumped up, like celebrating, like it was it was like the murder of John Cena, but people were happy. It's like, oh, thank God, he's going away.
Yeah,
but
That is what happens in wrestling when you overexpose somebody, right? Like, look, how many wrestlers have been through that where they're like, "Oh, good, he's leaving. Good, thank God."
It's like
Whew.
the people reacted like the Munchkins did when the Wicked Witch got hit by the house.
Yay!
like ding dong, the witch is dead. Thank God.
Dancing in the crowd.
Right. So it was like a torn pec, and the diagnosis was, I think, 6 months. They said, right?
Right.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
But Super Cena comes back in 2.
And everybody
with
was
that with that big return at the Rumble 2008, and that was a loud reaction. But it's also one of those moments where it was very happy to see him, but it's also like, uh-oh.
You're right. Like, he's back.
Yeah,
he's healed.
Time to give him the title back, something he never lost.
Right.
And that was pretty much where we're going to stop right now. So, because there's just too much to cover. We tried just fitting a lot of short stuff in this short period, but when we get back to part 2 of this, we're going to talk about the era of John Cena that people could not stand.
Mm-hmm.
It was very polar. If you were a kid, God help you at the shows.
Yeah.
Because it'd be the loud, the kids and the girls chanting, "Let's go, Cena!" And then all the grown men, all the tough men, just be like, "Cena sucks." We're also gonna talk part 2. We're gonna talk about all the colors that John Cena took out of the rainbow for T-shirts.
Oh my Lord, yes, every color possible.
I mean, and then we'll definitely get to the point of his disappointing, not satisfying ending.
Yeah, I think we could also touch base on the stuff that he did outside of wrestling, because
yeah, definitely, of course. But at this point, with 2008, John Cena's back, and we'll definitely get into that more on History and Headlocks. But
yeah, guys.
Yeah, so definitely stay tuned for part 2 coming out hopefully soon. And anybody that is watching this right now that's dealing with the storm outside, please be safe and don't kill yourself over it.
Don't go out if you have to, please. Yeah. I can't see anything outside. I looked out the window. It's like at least a foot of snow already outside the back of my window. Outside.
I've seen people go out and the snow's already up to their knees.
Yeah, people in shorts. Like, where are you going? To the gym? Really? You can't miss a day. Just work out at home. What the hell is wrong with you guys? People are just no common sense.
I didn't even see people in shorts, but that.
Oh, I'll send you some on IG. You're gonna be like, oh, good Lord. Over by Barclays, it was a clip of some dude in little jogging shorts, hauling ass somewhere.
Right.
I'll send it to you after we hang up here.
Yeah. So that's it for part 1 of History and Headlocks. Definitely subscribe for more content like us. A new episode with me and Jay watching How It's Done. We watched the episode with The Big Show, Paul White, talking about his recent interaction with a fan or heckler at a hotel, and this is right when he signs with the WWF. So that was a very interesting watch. Other stuff to tune in on your Wrestle Media. Definitely subscribe for a lot more. And at that note, class is dismissed.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy.